This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
You know that thing when somebody yawns and makes you yawn? Annie Nye, our studio director, just before going live, just yawned. It's all I can do to fight.
Oh, no. We can all do it together and just get it out of our system. That'd be fine.
She and I made eye contact. I was like, don't do that.
I can't see it.
And Jeff Roberts is up in master control. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody. Look at this. Look at this. Can you see it? Oh, yeah.
Bear.
It was clean. It was in the closet. I stumbled on it this morning, and I thought, hey, I should have worn it back on his 90th birthday celebration a few weeks back.
Yeah.
But I forgot. But so I love you, Bobby Bear, Jeannie Bear, and happy 90th birthday, belated albeit. But I'm rocking your swag this morning.
Do you have a cash one, which was the inspiration
I
for the bear one?
I have
that
a
You
Stubbs
have
one, an Eddie Stubbs one.
Oh, Stubbs one was one of our best
Yeah.
marketing ones here at WSM.
I have cash, and then I have one that says Crow and Cash, and it was Sheryl Crow, and she covered Johnny Cash.
Oh, very
Yeah,
nice.
that's pretty cool. I love it.
So who's making news with you today?
Oh, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. I mean, Cody Johnson joining some very elite ranks with the Houston Rodeo.
I saw that.
So that is very, very cool.
But it's like a year away.
But still putting it out there. Also, if you are one of those people at home that you're like, yeah, I'm not really a great cook, I have some answers for you. And we find out who cooks at home between Gwen and Blake. I had a little sit down with Blake, and he kind of shared some news. So we've got that coming up for you. Kenny Chesney's practicing in the Sphere, and we're going to London. So it's a whole lot to talk about this morning.
Well, what time should Charlie and I arrive for Reese's 16th birthday party tomorrow?
Well, if you
With
want
how many other people?
40 plus.
She's like, she's not sure.
40, I think.
Nobody
Nobody RSVPs
No one
anymore.
really knows.
Nobody RSVPs anymore. I mean, we're just kind of.
I'm working the Opry. Save me a piece of cake. Bring it in Monday.
You hear the music, come on over. It'll be fun.
We just in the neighborhood thought we'd drop by. That's what my mom and daddy used to do.
Sounds like party.
WSM's Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And we welcome Shan and Sam Stout to catch us up on all that is the 26th year of Granville Heritage Day and the Uncle Jimmy Thompson Bluegrass Festival. Charlie Mattos and Bill Anderson, new duet in country music. They'll be out there. What are you working on?
Just in case he's listening, that would be Bill Anderson and Charlie Mattos will be there. I want to make sure he gets the top billing.
You're going to do that version of Still?
I'm a big fan of Wherever She Is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I could do that with Bill very nicely. Always gets a great crowd reaction.
Nice.
Sam, Shan, great to see you. We've been visiting off the air. You and Kelly made fast friends, Shan. You have a mutual friend in common.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes, we're just we're gonna trade numbers after the show.
Of course. Yes.
Maybe I can help you with the birthday party.
Please do. I need all the help I can
And Sam
get.
Stout, the last time I saw you in person, you were still a single man.
I was a single man.
And you've, as we say in the country, you took yourself a wife.
Took myself a wife. I jumped the broom.
Oh,
Jumped
there
the
it
broom.
is. Jump the broom.
Jumped the broom. I waited 49 years.
Oh, no kidding.
So it was time. It was time. Before my father passed away, he said, look, he said, if you don't have the money to buy a license, he said, I'll loan you the money. So,
I love that sense of humor.
Did y'all have to do a blood test? Because in Kentucky, we didn't. So I don't know. I'm telling you, Kentucky,
Yeah.
it was $39.95 cash and no blood test. So just put it out there for anybody that needs to go get married real quick.
Well, this is a particularly special year with the 100th anniversary of the Grand Ole Opry and WSM Radio, and Uncle Jimmy Thompson is where it all started, with the solemn old judge getting in place some old-time fiddle tunes.
that's correct.
Yeah. So tell us what we're celebrating. Give us the rundown, times, whatever you want people to know. about
Okay,
this
now,
weekend.
if you know anything about Granville, Tennessee, first off, it is a charming riverboat town.
And
So,
the birthplace of Albert Gore Sr., right?
listen, so many things in Granville, and they are going to claim anything they can with history,
Sure.
including the fact that Uncle Jimmy Thompson is from that area. So, for those who are history buffs, you know that in 1925, Uncle Jimmy played. He was the first performer on the Grand Ole Opry. So we're celebrating that in Granville with Heritage Days. But the Bluegrass Festival this year, which again is that 100-year partnering with the Opry, you know, we're in tandem with them because of Uncle Jimmy. but also it's a national old-time fiddle competition for the first year ever. So that's a really big thing to celebrate for us. We're excited about it.
And I thought it was interesting. The age groups are 4 to senior adult. So that would be my grandson and me. But neither one of us played the fiddle.
So when you say that, is there a specific type of fiddle they need to play or a specific type of song? Because you are kind of putting it in that category.
Well, and if you're talking about, old-time fiddle, there are going to be a breakdown, a waltz, and then like dealer's choice, I call it, where that way, that's how you're being rated. And if anyone competes at all in old-time fiddle competitions, they are very familiar. We are not deviating from the traditional old-time fiddle competition. And the good news is there's not only cash prizes, but the grand champion is going to be able to play at the plaza at the Ryman. So they'll be able to play outside the Ryman Auditorium, and that's part of their prize package. And also they will be honored in the Old Time Fiddlers Hall of Fame in Weiser, Idaho. So that's a big deal. Yeah. So all these things go together with Heritage Days, and then of course all the fun festival stuff, the food, the crafts, the artisans, the museums there on site. Granville's just a lot of fun, and you'll want to go to GranvilleTN.com and check all of that out.
I'm excited for the I Love Lucy part, because I remember the Andy Griffith part, but now it's an Andy Griffith / I Love Lucy museum.
Yes.
I'm a buff of both, but I'm a huge I Love Lucy
fan. And even in the Decanter Museum, there's an Elvis section. I mean, they're just grabbing every icon.
Now you got me. Yeah.
That's awesome. So are cars a part of this too?
I know hundreds of cars. Yeah. It is truly one of the best car shows in Middle Tennessee. I don't know how they get so many antique and vintage cars to come all the way to Granville, but there are hundreds, and it is something to see. It is really spectacular.
Tractors, we don't leave out the tractor people.
Don't forget about the tractors.
Yeah, the antique tractor folks, they'll be represented.
And there's also, again, there is the Pioneer Village, there are the museums there, all within walking distance. And so this is what you would consider Main Street Granville, but it is Clover Street. And so once you hit Clover Street, that's what there is to see in Granville. Everything is walking distance from everything else.
Well,
so it is not even quite a block of what you're looking at. It is a street, and everything connects, so it's wonderful.
Well, we can't forget the Kelly Sutton General Store.
I know. I keep saying, I think I need to go see if those are my people. I'm pretty sure they are, but the Sutton General Store is there.
That's right.
It's something to see.
Is it?
It is something to see. 1880 is when the store was built and opened. So,
and you have live performance there?
They still do the Sutton Old Time Music Hour every Saturday night there.
That is so cool.
If you just joined us, it's Shan and Sam Stout representing Granville Heritage Day and the Uncle Jimmy Thompson Fiddle Competition and Charlie Maddow's live broadcast. Don't sell yourself short, 11 to 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll be there from 11 to 1 on Saturday. Bill Anderson's going to come by and hang with us. Hopefully you guys will come visit with us as well. You'll love this, though. The last time I was out there, they were getting ready for the fiddle competition, and I'm just sitting in the chairs kind of waiting, and I hear this couple in the background, and I see Randall Clemens walking down the street, and this guy goes to his wife. He goes, "Oh, look at that right there. That's Big Boss Man." She goes, "Who?" Right there. That's Randall Clemens. Big Boss. So he's now referred to around here as Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man.
Yeah. Sounds like something Stonewall Jackson would call you.
Yeah.
I've heard him being called other things, but yeah, that's
as have I.
We can talk about that on the radio. So.
Catch us up, whoever wants to speak to it, on the Music Pathways marker.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah.
Tennessee Department of Tourism, what an honor for this moment in time to be able to unveil the Music Pathways marker. And these are, of course, all across Tennessee honoring iconic moments that support music in history. And so Uncle Jimmy, it's going to be unveiled, and that's going to happen 11:30 to 12:30 on Saturday. So if you guys, you want to be there 9 to 5. The whole thing has so many things going on. But that's when that's happening in the state of Tennessee, and the Tennessee Department of Tourism will be there. So it'll be a great day.
Well, thanks to the two of you for getting up early, leaving home early. You got a long drive to get to Nashville, get to the studio. We really appreciate it.
Anything for you, Bill.
And as I look at you, I told Sam, is our first chance to meet, but I looked at you and I said, she is the perfect cross with that red hair between Dottie West and Shelley West.
I'll take it.
What a
don't
sweet
you
thing
think?
to say. I love love it.
Back
That's
in
so
the day,
good.
yeah.
Man, it's going to be fun Saturday.
Oh, yes.
And again, Charlie will be there with Bill Anderson 11 to 1 o'clock here on WSM Radio.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Hey, Stephanie Chapman is coming to see us, and so is Anna Ray. Anna is 16, but when she was 12, she lit up Broadway. She was young Elsa in Disney's production of Frozen, so quite a story for the young Nashvilleian. We'll get to meet her and find out more about Third and Lindsley. That is tomorrow night. Showtime. Oh, sister, Bob Dylan's birthday. How are you?
You
I'm
had to
so
wait till
good.
she just got a drink, right? In her
No, no, we're so settled and unrattled. We're
Sure you are.
so just serene. No, yeah.
Peaceful.
And you have a friend with you this
I have a
morning,
wonderful
and it's not
friend.
your husband Nathan who usually accompanies
Forget
you.
him. I've moved on. No, this is Anna Ray. I call her Anna Ray, but you're gonna Anna Ray Haller, but you're Anna Ray.
Anna Ray.
And she's a fantastic new country artist, just recently signed, but we've known each other for a year now.
But she was a star on Broadway before.
She's
that,
already a
as I
star.
understand.
And then I'll let you tell your story.
Stop.
I think you should tell it.
I started out doing theater when I was younger, and I kind of Cinderella story landed the role of young Elsa on Frozen on Broadway when I was 12. So I moved up with my dad for about 3 months, and then COVID hit, so we came back home to Charlotte. But yeah, Broadway was crazy.
So you grew up in Charlotte?
I did.
That's
I grew
home?
up in North Carolina.
Is
Yes.
Nashville home now?
It's part-time home.
Okay.
It's part home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you sign that label deal, it kind of becomes a full-time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're trying.
And you've got an apartment now.
Yes.
It's so fun. And
It sounds so familiar to a story about a girl named Reese who's about to turn 16 this
I have a
next
theater
couple of days.
kid.
Listen.
She's doing the same.
I thought about
gosh.
Reese when I was talking with Anna, saying
Yeah.
you're gonna love Kelly. Reese loves theater. She is such an example of that. So
I love it.
look where we ended
Well,
up. Too.
and
She ended up
music-
back in Nashville.
It's so fun to watch kids when they're in theater because a lot of times that's the path for music discovery. Like that's your first opportunity to figure out what your voice is and what your voice can do. And then when you find that, you're like, oh, if I can do that, could I do this? And oh, I can
Absolutely.
write music, and oh, I can play guitar. So how was that path for you? It's easy to start when you're singing somebody else's songs. When did you start like trying to write your own stuff?
You know, I've always had a fascination with lyrics. And even like the first Broadway musical I memorized front to back was Hamilton because of the lyric. Like I was
Yeah.
8 years old doing a one-woman show of a 3-hour Hamilton. Like
Some of those lyrics that
please
mom
find
was
video.
like, no.
Video of
The
that.
opening line alone, you're like, no.
but I was like a Hamilton kid. Like that's how that got started. So I've always had an obsession with lyrics. So when we came home from Frozen after it closed, and I was like, am I going back to school? I was like, I can't do that. So I stayed online and finished up high school. And my mom bought a cheap Amazon nylon guitar one day, and she was like, here, take this. So that kind of started the guitar for me, and that's where I learned to write. And my vocal teacher also was a big part of that because she really encouraged me. She was like, come back to me with the song and we're going to go over it. Like she really fostered that for me. And then it just kind of grew into this.
So who taught you to play guitar? Did you get a song book and learn it that way?
I started out on YouTube. Like I kind of just
Okay.
figured out myself.
Like a
but then I got
tutorial?
a guitar teacher and he was great. He was so helpful.
So is any of this like your early story,
Yes,
Stephanie?
actually, it's so fun it was the first time we met was to write together, which is always an honor. Like my new phase of life right now is getting to meet young artists and work with them. And it's been so much more joyful than anyone could have told me. Honestly, I'm like, what is my true calling? It might be this. So we started writing, and then we're talking about theater. And I said, I finally have a co-writer who can break into Les Mis with me. And
He did.
that is exactly how I started singing
Yeah.
also.
Okay.
And it's a longer story than that, but it really did lead me to songwriting. I wanted to be on Broadway. Kelly, I don't want you to hear this story, but I broke my leg in college. And then I had to just say, no, we're not going to do that because of the dancing and stuff. But I was supposed to be in Nashville.
Hey, the story is in the story of how you broke your leg in college.
Oh, I got hit by a car. It's very dramatic. See, I was trying to protect our listeners from that this morning. Here's the takeaway. The takeaway is not,
Don't get hit by a car.
listen,
My thoughts exactly.
try
Greg.
having your 3 children be like, don't do as I say, not as I do, kids. The takeaway is my story is miraculous, actually, because that led me to France, where I actually met Nathan Chapman. He's born and raised in Nashville. As you know, he produced Taylor Swift. I actually brought him back into music because he was over it. And I said, no, you're a good guitar player and you live in Nashville and we're going to get married and we're going to make music together. And I mean, everyone in songwriting has a long and winding road to get to where they are. And I always tell people, there's not one path to do music professionally. There are many. So I've experienced a lot of them and here we are.
So how did you talking about working with young artists? How did Nathan and Taylor get together?
Oh, that's a great story. I was signed to Jody Williams Publishing.
Oh, sure.
And
Jody. I love Jody.
Nathan was doing all my demos in our basement in East Nashville. And they're like, these demos are really good. Taylor, at 14, maybe even 13, had come to town and she was writing with Liz Rose, one of her main co-writers. And they needed a demo. Okay, Nathan Chapman, can you do this demo? And when it came time for her to record her album, I always say, like, to her complete credit, she said, no, not these other guys who were totally qualified. You know, label said this was what we should do. She said, no, the guy who did the demos, who's never done an album before on a major label. And she fought for him. And so that is how they started working together. It's a longer story than that.
Wonderful
You can read it in my
story,
book.
Wow.
Anyone listen? Any publishers listening? No. It's a cool story, and Taylor really did spearhead that trust in Nathan as a producer.
Would you share another personal moment about the last day of school yesterday?
Yes. So I do want some credit just for being a mom and also doing all this stuff too. The stuff is getting our Bob Dylan show together, which is including lots of rehearsals and, you know, being on here, trying to promote, get everyone to come out, buy tickets. But yesterday was the last day of school. Yep. Kelly knows this because our kids go to the same school. Yep. And my kids love it when I sometimes pick them up. I have a vintage Ford Ranger, 1972. It's beautiful.
Ooh,
Marv,
nice.
Its name is Marv Green because it's green, like the songwriter Marv Green. And anyway, I'm rolling into school, and I was idling in the long school line where all the children are waiting. This is middle school. It's already hard. And I start to see smoke coming from the engine, a lot of smoke. Then children are looking, they're pointing, and then I get the worst thing you don't want as a driver is the tap on the window. Ma'am, you got to cut your engine. And I'm like, yes, sir. And I was like mortified, and you're leaking radiator fluid all over the place. It's like, okay. So my daughter finally comes over, and a friend saw, do you need a ride? We had to park it. She's just walking out with her head in her hands. Mom, of all days, Mom, why?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much longer Marv has in my life. He's let me down a few times.
There's nothing like the smell of an overheated radiator.
Oh, my
too. It
gosh.
is such a unique thing. I mean, it's the only thing that smells like that, you know, and it's not one you ever
I guess you
want.
feel cool when you break down because it's part of it, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe.
the best part
It's
of the
off
story
track.
is
Go
the
with
part off the air where Stephanie asked Charlie, "What's that stuff that goes in where the radiator fluid goes?"
I believe that would be the radiator.
I was expecting more, Charlie.
In
I
my
was expecting
vast
you to know.
car knowledge,
Yeah.
that's what I got for you.
So before we go to the break and then come back and have you guys play live, tell us about the celebration at 3rd and Lindsley Bob Dylan birthday.
All right, so this is our second year doing this. I'm the founder, I guess, and I just grew up listening to Bob Dylan. He's part of the reason why I feel like I can write the way I do lyrically. So we do the Bob Dylan birthday tribute, and where I get a bunch of my friends to sing his songs. This year it's all female, and it is Friday night, this Friday at 3rd and Lindsley, starting at 8 o'clock. It's going to be amazing.
And I saw Nashville songwriter Hall of Famer Matresa Berg on the lineup.
Carol and Don Johnson.
Emily West. Yeah.
We have an all-star lineup. And some new folks, too.
We'll tell you more when we come back, and they're going to play live for us. On Coffee, Country, and Cody, we've got Stephanie Chapman and Anna Ray in studio.
From WSM Radio, this is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And along with Kelly Sutton, Charlie Matos, Billy Boy Cody with Stephanie Chapman and Anna Ray and their guitars in studio, getting ready for a Bob Dylan celebration. I saw Shelley Fairchild and friends tonight at 3rd and Lindsley, and you guys tomorrow night.
Girl, and we're both like, I can't come to your show. I have to save my voice. I can't come to your show. I have another show the night of, and blah, blah, blah. But we're also supportive of each other. That's part of the beauty of it, actually.
And 3rd and Lindsley is
Shelley
great.
Fairchild tonight at 3rd and Lindsley.
And she is one of the great voices
Oh
in
my gosh.
this town.
She's phenomenal, and she's not stopped yet. She's
Yeah.
just my fave.
So with Bob, you've got literally 63 years of songs to pick through.
And you're gonna do them all, Charlie.
Because he's still
9-hour
doing
show.
stuff. I mean,
I know.
I loved Rough and Rowdy Ways. You know, I
Yes.
thought it was a great record. So how do you pick one?
I
Or
think-
two,
well,
or three,
people,
you know.
People do want to hear what they know if they're not as well versed as you and I, Charlie.
I mean, nobody wants to hear the 14-minute version of Murder Most Foul. Or the
and then
17-minute version of Highlands? Come on now.
I
Seriously.
listen, my dad wants to.
Well, see, there it
My
is.
dad
There's
wa-
the answer right there. Okay.
Well, you've been singing this one already. Anna has a great part of her appeal, or what has kind of got you to where you are, is her videos that she puts on TikTok. I wanted to say the TikTok
The TikTok.
because of my age, but I think you've been doing "It Ain't Me, Babe" for a while, and I was just saying that was Johnny Cash's favorite Bob Dylan song.
Oh, wow.
And when Bob came to Nashville to record Nashville Skyline, which is the country music kind of tie-in, but
And Charlie Daniels played on that session famously.
oh yeah,
Famously. So.
that's one of my favorite records.
Is that what you're going to do first? What do you guys
Yeah,
going to do?
Babe, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
Ready?
Stephanie Chapman and Anna Ray. Sweeta. What that is. Stephanie Chapman and Anna Ray on Coffee, Country, and Cody from our Acuff House Grand Ole Opry Plaza studio. Oh, sister, Bob Dylan's birthday. The tribute celebration is tomorrow at 3rd and Lindsley with doors at 6. Showtime is 8 o'clock, including but not limited to Emily West, Matresa Berg, Carolyn Dawn Johnson, Peyton Porter, Kat Luna, and many more. And your most recent album, which you celebrated with us when we
Last
released
year
it.
was the
Under
release
an August
date.
Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
We-
playing
Be
Be
Kind.
Kind.
Yeah.
Yes. So fun.
Good.
And that was awesome.
Have we seen A Complete Unknown? The
Oh
movie?
yes, I was late to the party. Maybe I was a little resistant. Maybe I was a little,
Me too.
little bit of a stick in
Yeah.
the mud. And then I saw it on the plane.
Oh, that's
back
where I
from-
watched it.
And I was like, oh, this is so good. It was so good. It just made me so excited for our show. And it made me realize that there is like a greater community of people who kind of just get it. And I loved it. Did you get the chance to see it?
I've seen clips. I haven't seen the whole thing.
You're going to
through.
be so excited, and you're going to be like, well, I should have been in the movie, I think.
Was there something that you learned about him from that you didn't know before?
I know a lot. I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie. No, I know a lot. But I think the relationship with Joan, maybe.
Okay.
As so long as that wasn't dramatized, I think that was some new information. And just seeing two characters portrayed that way, you sort of get the tension of what that is to be one kind of artist and another kind of artist. And I mean, we all experience that as artists.
Now let's sing
in
something else,
Nashville.
Joan.
Yeah. All right.
They know
so,
that one already.
Speaking of Joan, Anna and I, when we write together, one of the things we did that we had fun with, I don't know why I'm doing that. I don't need
We
the words.
geeked out.
There are so many words, you guys.
Oh, I bet.
You know,
Our
when
words.
Bob sings them nowadays, people don't understand them, so it's okay.
It's
Just
fine.
whatever you make up will be just
It is
perfectly
hard for
fine.
me to not sing with the Bob impression. I have to do my own version. So so we were writing one day and we were like, let's work up Farewell Angelina just for the fun of it.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're gonna do 3 verses out of 100 million verses of this beautiful song. Farewell
10,000
Angelina.
there are.
Okay, are you ready? We
Yes,
good?
you got it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm playing.
Well, Charlie, Kelly, how lucky are we to get a front row seat to something like that? With
That is really
Stephanie Chapman
magical.
in studio this morning and meeting Anna Ray for the first time. So quickly before we wrap, tell us about your label signing.
Oh, craziness. So I'm 17, and at the time I was 16, and I was posting on TikTok just covers, and I got an email off of a website that I'd created for myself. It was a Squarespace website, and it was from an executive there, and I thought it was a scam because she was like, it was the only
Delete.
email I've ever gotten off of that website.
Oh, wow.
So she put her number down. I was like, it's LA. So I was like, I'll call. So we called and we chatted, and it was small talk, and she was like, maybe I'll come to you or you come to me. I'd love to meet you. And this was in February of last year. And so a week later, she called me and she was like, hey, we're doing CRS at the Ryman. We always do a show. We'd love for you to come. You and your mom can come. We'll do a meeting beforehand and we'll go from there. And I was like, cool. I was not well versed in this. So we took the meeting beforehand, and my mom and I walked up to that office that's like a palace. It's crazy. And we had a meeting and I sang a song, and it was the first time meeting them, and she walked out of the room and then threw a contract on the table, and we were like, okay.
Signed her on the spot.
Wow. That doesn't happen, and it's such a cool Music Row story.
Yeah.
Like I like she deserves it though. She's so good, as you can hear. So gifted,
You're
gifted
so
writer.
kind.
You have broken the hearts of every struggling artist.
Hey, don't forget the long journey after the paperwork.
That's true.
After you lawyer
You're
up.
playing CMA Fest coming up
Yes,
too,
I
which is
am.
really
I'm playing
exciting.
Skydeck.
Oh, great.
On Saturday, June 7th.
Oh, I love
First
Skydeck.
CMA Fest.
Yes.
I still say fanfare.
First
you guys.
Nashville gig.
It'll be great. That's amazing.
Stephanie Chapman.
Thank you so much.
Anna Ray, so
Thank
good to
you,
have
guys.
you here.
Thank
And then
you
again,
so
Oh
much.
Sister, Bob Dylan's birthday celebration. That show, doors at 6, showtime is 8 o'clock, and that's tomorrow night. Third and Lindsley, Stephanie, Anna, and a ton of other folks, including Nashville songwriter Hall of Famer Matresa Berg. And Kelly Sutton's Entertainment. This is the 14th anniversary of the Country Music Hall of Fame class. It included Reba, Bobby Braddock, and Gene Shepard.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. I heard stories about Jean.
I shared this morning, I featured her in our 650 segment, the Cody Classic Country Song of the Day, Then He Touched Me, which was a George Ritchie, Nora Wilson song. She had a big hit on it, 69, 70. And I told Charlie, I said, I was reminded of what Carl Smith told me one time about Hank Williams. And he said, if Hank didn't like you, he couldn't wait to tell you. Well, that was the case with Gene Shepard. If she liked you, you were good to go forever, no matter what.
I love
But
that.
if she determined in the beginning that you were not qualified for friendship, she would certainly let you know.
You know who else was like that? Ralph Emery.
Oh, yeah.
If Ralph loved you, he loved you hard. And if he didn't, you knew it. That was it. That was it. We got lots to get to. Entertainment headlines. First up, we were talking about who actually cooks in your household. In my household, we have chefs that we like to call. One is available through DoorDash. Another one is over at Corner Pub. They know us very well.
Well, Charlie, you do a lot of cooking still, don't you?
I do. My smash burgers are probably the best thing I do. I do
Oh.
really good burgers.
Okay.
And I'm not bad on steaks. I can do that good.
When you say smash burger, what goes into your hamburger meat?
It's just just seasoning. But the key is to flatten them as much as you humanly can.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because when Renee does them, they come out like hockey pucks. They taste fine, but they're like small and like fat. I like them like big and like
Crispy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
All right.
that's my specialty.
Well, I don't cook, but I decided when I was chatting with our friend Blake Shelton, I would offer up the question. And here's how it went. Who cooks at your house?
Gwen mostly cooks.
Do you have a favorite dish that she makes?
Man, she's really good at anything Italian, but my favorite is probably lasagna. That's like one of those things. It takes her all day. Like, it's an all-day thing, you know, and I would eat that for the rest of my life. She makes homemade pizza, makes the dough rises, separates it, like all in the pizza oven. Like, she really does this stuff for real. I know the way you
We
are
need a
looking at me.
cooking
It's
show.
crazy. Who does that?
Not me. There you go. So now you know what's going on at their house. in
My wife
Oklahoma.
has a hand towel that hangs over the front of the stove, the handle of the stove, that says, I have a kitchen because it came with the house.
That's my girl. That's kind of how I feel.
She's actually a wonderful cook and cooks a lot, but I chuckle still after all these years of seeing that. I still
Love it.
get a kick out of it.
I love it. Well, Blake is super funny. He's the latest episode of our podcast, if you want to hear it, Country Heat Weekly. But he just got really honest about like what it's like at home and what they do. And then they just posted a video. Gwen went fishing. Now, she was in full hair and makeup when she went fishing, which I love and really appreciate. But she had on camo and she caught herself a bass. So there you go. You take the girl out in the country, you never know what's going to
It's
happen.
a 5-pound bass, son. Thank you, Robert Earl King.
Well, Kenny Chesney is practicing for the Sphere. Everybody, it's coming up quick. End of May is going to be the first show. And he said, you really don't know what it's like till you're in it. He said, we did simulators, we did all kinds of stuff. But until we walked in for rehearsals this past week, we had no idea what we were up against. He said, it is a whole other world. I can't wait for people who love this music so intensely to experience this. Now, it starts end of May, as I mentioned, and it runs all the way through June 21st, so you can get your tickets to see Kenny at the Sphere in Las Vegas. And if you're going out of town, you might as well go with us to London. I mean, it's going to be a big old time. The Grand Ole Opry is celebrating 100 years by taking the first ever broadcast across the pond. It's going to be at Royal Albert Hall. Take a look.
I'm Darius Rucker.
Ashley McBride here.
Hey everyone, Luke Combs here.
Carly Pierce here.
Hi everybody, I'm Marty Stewart.
In celebration of 100 years of the Grand Ole Opry, we're taking the show on the road.
This fall, we're bringing you the legendary Grand Ole Opry, the show that made country music famous, to the world-renowned Royal Albert Hall.
That's right, Grand Ole Opry Live in London is happening on September 26th.
I can't wait to share this unforgettable night with you.
Let's play some country music. How about that?
Tickets on sale Friday, May 23rd at royalalberthall.com. That's tomorrow. So get your tickets and come hang out with us in London. I've already been texting with Carly Pierce about wardrobe and what we're going to wear. So going to be a big old time.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
So he went to bed at 3, set the alarm for 7. It is 9:15, and Ira Dean, where are you?
I'm here.
You made it.
It's early.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, you feel like us after an Opry show. We get about 4 hours, and then we got to come back in. So it's not much different, actually.
I went to bed early. I just couldn't get to bed. I just laid there.
Go to sleep, you mean?
Yeah.
Once you get in bed?
I got in the bed, couldn't get to sleep. My wife watches, if we watch TV, somebody's got to die in it. So we watch a lot of Dateline, a lot of First 48, a lot of all that stuff. So, yeah.
If she gets to Snapped, watch out.
Oh,
because
she
that's where the women kill the husbands. That's a very.
Oh, we watch that.
Oh, yeah.
We watch all that. Evil Neighbors, all that stuff.
But it's the husbands who had it coming.
Well, sometimes they're just evil women, though. Not always, Bill. Sometimes it's our not our fault.
Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they didn't bring Chick-fil-A home.
That's right. Earl had to die, y'all. Earl had to die.
You never know, might set them off.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
We got to see each other for like 5 seconds when we were both in Texas. You were down there, ACMs, playing and hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
They let anybody in those things.
Stop.
Yeah.
So what's it like for you being a part of it for so many years when you get to see it and you're like, man, this is the 60th.
I felt old.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did too.
Did you?
Did too. Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Am I right, Ira? This is the 25th year since the inception of Trick Pony.
Ooh.
Is it really?
2000, right?
Yeah, we came out in 2000. Yeah, it's 25th year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Oh
my God.
And
thanks for pointing that out.
And Rebel before that.
Rebel
the
before that.
Horse.
Rebel in 96 when I got fired from Tanya Tucker in 96. That's when Rebel started.
Well, how misbehaved were you if you got fired by Tanya?
I was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty bad. I would have fired me long before she did. I deserved them.
Okay. All right.
Joe Diffie before that?
No, Keith was with Joe Diffie.
Oh, okay.
That's how we met at Jamboree in the Hills. I was with Tanya. Keith was with Joe, and he had this idea. And I always dressed like I always dressed like Huggy Bear back in the day. And he was a cowboy looking dude. And he's like, I got this idea. And there's no trios at the time. And he's like, me, like how you look, and then me like this. And we find a girl singer, and we'll have a country Fleetwood Mac. And I was like, it sounds like Country Village People. And I was like, no, I don't think so, man. And then on the way home from Arlington, Texas, I got fired for my third time, I think. And I called him up. It's like, man, that Country Village People thing sounds pretty good.
And did it not start in one of Kelly's old hometowns, Indianapolis?
Yeah, we started at 8 Seconds out there. Yeah, we played the Wild Horse here for 2 weeks. Then we go down to Orlando for 2 weeks at that Wild Horse down there in Pleasure Island. And then we go to Indy at 8 Seconds. And then we went to, Coyote Joe's in Charlotte. That was our 4 gigs.
Your circuit.
Yeah, that was it. And we just stayed gone. That's all we did.
Out of those 4, which one was the rowdiest?
Rowdiest? Me. Anywhere I went, we got out of hand down in Orlando a little bit, but I like the crowd in 8 Seconds. That's kind of like home to me. Yeah.
Well, since you referenced it, so when did you get sober? And
when did I get sober? Well, I've been sober a bunch, and I've been drunk a bunch. So it finally took about 12 years ago. So it finally stuck. Yeah.
What happened that made it stick? That didn't before? When
Man, I just. To be honest with you, it just got bad. It got dark. It got to a place where I wasn't proud of myself, and I don't think the town was taking me serious anymore. And my dad passed in 2007, and that hit me hard. And his last words was, if I keep drinking, I'm gonna lose everything. And that's what I kept ringing in my head. And I tried to get sober a bunch of times after that, and it would make it a year or 6 months. And so that's why I don't even know my sober date, because I always relapsed on it. So I'm like, I don't want to even know. So I kind of coasted into this thing, and it stuck. So I've been...
Good for you.
Yeah.
And thanks for inspiring people who are struggling with it as they listen and watch.
Man, my first part of my life, I was an example. Now an example, you know.
But here's the thing, Ira, everyone loves you. I mean, you know that. When you say your name, people are like, oh, man, I love him.
Absolutely,
and everyone's been rooting for you since day one.
Well,
so that
thank
has
you.
to feel good to know you're
does.
welcomed in all these writing rooms by everybody.
It's my heart's full. You know, it took me a long time to grow up. I had a emotional IQ of a kindergartner, I think, and I was handling things wrong, and just, I don't know, something clicked, and I love making music more than anything. Sorry, honey, if you're watching. But, I mean, this is all I've ever done. Well, I take that back. I was a bar back at Opryland Hotel when I first came to town. That didn't last very long. But I love the music. I love making music. I love being part of this community. And, you know, I got a house down in Florida now, and I go down there and spend time. And it's great because there's sunshine and the beach, but the music scene, you get spoiled living here, you know. Yeah. I got guitars down there and I write, but it ain't like living here, you know.
Or living with Johnny Cash.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, there's that. It's been a one day I'll write a book when everybody dies if I don't die first, you know.
So you and John Carter were friends. That's how that whole thing came together.
Yeah, we formed a band. When I first moved to town, we played the Bell Cove Club in Hendersonville for like $30 a night and all the beer we could drink, which was awesome because we were both underage, and it was great. Sorry, Joey Ford. And we had a rock band called the Electric Iguanas, and it was insane. I think back to those days, but we packed the place. I mean, college kids loved us, and then I was getting ready to probably go back home and beg for my job back at the Elizabethan Hotel in Manteo, North Carolina. I was the maintenance man. I got electrocuted, and I realized I was a horrible maintenance man, and I came to Nashville. And
red goes to positive.
Well, yeah, I didn't know that. I threw every breaker in that place with my body. I was like, I want to go play guitar for a living. But I went over to his house for lunch one day, and June says I was the stray dog they fed that wouldn't leave. And I just stayed there because everything I had a Chevette with no floorboard in it, a drum set that stayed at Bell Cove Club, and one bag full of clothes. So I had my bag full of clothes there, so I just kind of stayed there. And then he had the house in Bon Aqua, and I stayed out there. And, you know, we just kind of played multiple houses down in Tampa where he had a house down there. And then they ended up giving me the duplex across the street by House of Cash Museum that sat behind there on 16 acres. And I remember I was paying, John was so cool, I was paying $300 a month. That included electricity, telephone, and water. So I was pretty much paying my bill, you know, and the house was free. And Big John, me and him we locked up like Legos, man. I love that guy.
Did he recognize you were struggling with your drinking at that point and give you any advice because of the struggles he had?
We went to a couple of AA meetings together back in the day.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he knew. Everybody knew. Are you kidding? You can't hide that. I mean, but one of the first guys on the road to pull me aside, we opened up for Charlie Daniels. And we got done playing, and that was at the peak of my addiction, I would say, because I liked prescription for drugs and whiskey. That was my thing. Makes for a great time. But we got done playing, and his road manager came out and said, Charlie wants to see you in the dressing room. And I was like, okay. And I was like, Keith, how do you? And he goes, no, just you. And I was like, oh, no, what did I do? And I walked back there, and I guess he could see my hand shaking a little bit, and because I was just counting down the minutes so I could get a drink in me. And he said, son, I know what's going on. And he put his hands on me and said, you forget. He goes, you haven't drank nothing I haven't drank. You haven't taken nothing I haven't taken. You forget I hung out with the Skinner boys, and I know that look in your eye. And he goes, there's a better way. And he put his hands on me. He goes, you mind if I pray for you? I said, no, sir. And he prayed for me, and that ruined my buzz for a long time, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the Charlie Daniels I knew.
Yeah. And then I saw him, you know, after Trick Pony broke up and I finally got sober. I was playing in Wabash, Indiana. I was opening up for him. And he was standing on the side of the stage when I walked off. And he goes, Ira Dean. And I said, yeah. And he grabbed me by my shoulder. He goes, there you are. He goes, I see you now.
Wow.
And it tore me up. So, yeah, that's a good guy.
You're going to make me cry.
Yeah, that's a good man. That's a great man.
I'm also intrigued by the car with no floorboards. I'm picturing Fred Flintstone here.
It was. It was horrible. I had no heat in that car. I had no floorboard. And we had that big snowstorm like in 94 4 or something. And
that was the ice storm.
And I would come down here, and I would take a milk jug and put water in it, and I'd put it in the microwave, and I'd sit that in my lap and hang onto that while I drove to keep warm. I was broke as a joke. Broke as a joke. I had no floorboard, and I shouldn't say this. You know, back then I might have been consuming and cruising at the same time. I had a little cooler, and you get pulled over, and I just lift my floor mat up and put my beer on the pavement and put the floorboard over it, and I get my ticket, and then I lift it up and grab my drink, and I drive off. That's terrible.
Ira.
My daughter's watching. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Ira.
it was. Hey,
Kelly's daughter's learning to drive. She's turning 16, so I hope she's listening.
Keep a floorboard in that car, girl.
We got it covered.
Yeah, that was.
All right, you got to give me the backstory on Teleman before we play it, because this thing is so infectious. You and Ronnie Dunn, and you've been out with them recently,
Yeah, I've been
right?
playing bass. That's why I was at the ACMs. I was playing bass for Brooks and Dunn. Ronnie called me up and said, "What's your summer like?" And me and Ronnie been writing, golly, for 5 years now. And he's like, "What's your summer like?" And I was like, "I just switched agencies. I don't have nothing going on." And he's like, "Well, I might be making your day or breaking your day." I'll never forget it. I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Are you planning on coming out and writing?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, why don't you? I need a bass player that sings." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "No, it's only 33 shows." And I said, "Send me the dates." And I looked at the dates, and there was just one date that conflicted. And they got a sub for Austin, Texas at the Hall of Fame or something like that. I couldn't make that show, but I've had a blast. I mean,
good for you.
Spending 90 minutes listening to the best dang singer I've ever heard in my life, you know, and playing 90 minutes of the soundtrack to my life. I remember when their first single came out. I was driving my Chevette with no floorboard in it. I just moved to town, and I was going down Gallatin Road, and Brand New Man came out. And I pulled my car over, and I was like, "Who the heck is this singing?" It was just, it knocked me out. And now we open up for it, you know, we open up with that song every night.
And the key is that cold intro.
Oh, I know, right?
That cold start.
Yeah, right with the chorus, just bang.
So Teleman, you write this?
No, I didn't. Jeffrey Steele and Tony Mullins wrote this song.
Okay.
And it's been around forever. I think they wrote it 19 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. And
but you guys, in addition to Ronnie, it's a who's who, is particularly on the video.
Well, yeah, it was crazy. So the story goes, Noah Gordon called me and wanted me to do an album. I just got done producing 2 Aaron Lewis albums for Big Machine, and I was still writing, and so I kind of felt retired. I did like 20 shows a year and just wrote and produced. And he called up and he goes, "When are you going to do an album?" And I kind of giggled. He goes, "No, I'm serious. I got a label now, and I want you to do an album." And I was like, "Okay, well, give me a month to start writing for it," kind of thing. And I always had a dream of doing like a country version of the Traveling Wilburys. You know, in Nashville, we do a lot of vocal collaborations, but not like an all-star band. Like everybody plays, everybody sings. And so me and Vince have tried it. I called Vince like 5 times trying to do this. And it just never worked out. And I heard Teleman. Noah played me Teleman. I was like, I remember this song. I love this song.
And for those of you who don't know, that's a nod to the Telecaster guitar.
Yes. Back a long time ago, kids, country music was based around a Telecaster. And so I called Vince and sent him the song, and he loved it. And I just did a show with Brother Osborne, and John Osborne just blows me away. I called him and sent it to him. And then, of course, Brent Mason. And we tracked it and got all the parts lined up. And I was writing with Ronnie Dunn about 10 days later. He's like, "I hear you're cutting an album." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Let me hear something." And I was like, no, it's really rough. And he's like, "You hear my roughs?" I was like, "Yeah, but your roughs are way better than my roughs." And so I played it for him, and he loved it. And so he was tapping his toe, and he played again. And he played again. And I was like, it'd be great if we did something together on this album. And he's like, "What's wrong with that song there?" And I was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." So he did the second verse, and we switched lines. He did a chorus, second verse, second chorus, and then we switched lines on the bridge. And man, life comes full circle, man. Because in 1990, I remember pulling my Chevette over with no floorboard, with that temporary donut tire that I had on there for 500 miles that's guaranteed for 50. And it was just great, man. I finally got to record with him. And Vince and John, they made the song, so.
Ira Dean is here on Coffee, Country, and Cody, and so is Teleman.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
I Got Roads is a new album from the Assembly Food Hall stage for our special guest, Ira Dean, who has written so successfully. ACM Award winner, wrote for Ronnie Dunn, Rascal Flatts, Joe Nichols along the way, Chris Young, Trace Adkins, Gary Allen, Montgomery Gentry, and there are others. That's the short list.
Yeah.
So good for you, man.
I've been lucky. I've been in the right rooms at the right time.
What was your first cut? Who gave you your first cut?
Poor me. We had to cut it together. No, actually, the first cut I ever had was a rock song called Too Many Mushrooms, and Dr. Hook, the lead, Ray Sawyer, cut Too Many Mushrooms. That was my first cut from from Dr. Hook.
Oh, that's
I did not want to go out of my career with that one. I was like, I got to get more hits. I got to get another cut.
So was Poor Me the first single and
The first thing we wrote that in '96 and pitched it, and nobody would cut it, and then we cut it, and then that's what got our deal,
Man.
Yeah, so we had to cut our own stuff for me to get cuts.
Wow.
You had there for a while.
You had a big hit with Aaron Lewis, too, right?
Yeah, Am I the Only One?
Yeah.
It debuted at, only 9 songs had debuted at #1 in Billboard magazine since 1958. And me and Jeffrey Steele and Aaron Lewis wrote that, and it debuted at #1.
That's pretty good company.
Yeah, so I'm in the history books.
And I have this vivid memory of one of the last times you were in studio with us live. You were playing guitar for Shelley Fairchild, who's got a gig tonight at 3rd and Lindsley. That we
My favorite female singer. Golly, she can belt it. She is so dang good.
Yeah. Well, what do you got in that guitar this morning? And what's the story on that Gibson you're holding?
1946 Gibson. I don't know. There's no story behind it. I wanted one, and I kept talking myself out of buying one. And then I've got a wife that's like, you need to reward yourself. And I said, you're right. I'm going to go buy that guitar. I bought it.
You're such a great wife.
I was like, you're awesome. That's what I love about you. I'm going to go buy it. So I went and bought it.
What did she buy? Because she probably bought something and
She
then
bought
was
some
like,
shoes with red soles on them.
that's my girl.
That was
Get
a-
them Louboutins.
She
Yeah.
did that Jedi mind trick on me. You should buy that.
Yes.
And I'll be at the shoe store. Go get you a guitar.
We're taught that.
Yes.
They take us out of school.
I believe
and
I'm
teach
going to
us
get a
that.
purse, too.
And so, Kelly, what's your favorite color?
Oh, diamond.
Any size, right? Any size, any color.
I think that's my wife's favorite color, too.
We're probably best friends.
Yeah, she's got a birthday coming up, and I was like, "What do you want? What do you want? Just send me some ideas." And there's a lot of diamonds.
Atta girl.
Yeah.
So for someone who's not a guitar person, is there a magic year for a Gibson or a magic decade, or do you just know when you pick it up and feel it?
There's magic. I mean, to me, it's just whatever speaks to me. And I played this one. I was like, "Golly, I want that guitar, but I didn't want to spend that much money." And then my wife taught me, and she's a bad influence. But I don't regret it. I love it. It's great. It's got some.
Well, you going to play from the new album, or are you going to do something else? I Got Roads is a new album. It's been out about a month and a half.
I was going to do something old.
Okay.
But I'm going to do something new. This is off the I Got Roads album. I'm going to try to do it. I wrote this for my mom after she passed 2 years ago. And I wrote it with Dave Turnbull. And I canceled all my rights. Me and my mom were tight. And canceled all my rights. And he called up and he's like, we're on the books. Come on over. And I was like, man, I don't think we should. I got to take some time down. And he's like, you can't say no to Dave. And he's like, come on over. So I went over, and this song fell out, and I played it, and Noah loved it. We cut it on the record, and it was great. But my mom's birthday was last month. My dad's birthday was last month. So
what were their names?
Huh?
What were their names?
Owen Dean and Mary Jean Dean. Mary Jean Dean, the dancing machine.
I love it.
So,
Ira Dean. Every person watching or listening right now, at some level, relates to that title of that song.
Thank you.
Missing how
Thanks.
it used to be. Yeah, man. That one.
Thank you, Dave, for making me write that day.
I was reminded, you're talking about your mother. My mother, Mama Helen, we referred to her, would always say the last decade or so of her life, lived to be in her mid-80s. She'd say, I just want to feel like I used to feel.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because in her mind, she was a younger woman.
Yeah.
Forever.
But
in that moment in time, she realized
the older I get, I was sitting there going, I wonder if my dad still felt that way, because I still think I'm 21, and I don't think the soul ages. It's just the body gives out. And so, yeah, it's just crazy. I thought I'd act older by now.
I Got Roads.
If you haven't written that one, you need to write that one.
I Got Roads is the new album from our friend Ira Dean. And thank you so much. Any place you're playing that you want people to come see you? Or you
No, I'm getting ready to head back out with Brooks and Dunn. We're going to go play Fenway Park in Boston on the 30th. And then I got a few shows coming up, but I don't even know offhand. They're in my phone. And if you want to know where I'm playing, just call my wife. She's got it all figured out. She keeps the calendar really tight.
Ira Dean, thank you.